Alright, welcome back here everybody. And now we're ready to come in here and do our rig cleanup. Okay, so let's go ahead here and pull our outliner back over here. And as you can see, we're not necessarily 100% organized here. And I'm going to go ahead and change that because we want to be inside a module system. So we want the entire rig, whatever rig it may be. So since we're going to be adding a couple different rigs into our module rig, and we basically have this one rig here which I call a module, and which is going to get added on and into a new scene to create a huge rig. We want to make sure that this is organized because we don't want to import the stuff the way it is now, because it would just get way blown out of proportion and be basically way out of control. So first thing that we can come down here and do is just go ahead and delete this layer, which is going to be our eye layer. Make sure that we reference our clownfish module layer, and I'm just going to go ahead and add don't touch to it. This way our animators know basically not to touch the layer. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and create a null group just by hitting Control G. And I'm going to go ahead and freeze the transformations and center the pivot on that as well. And I'm going to rename this null1 to clownfish module space don't space touch. Okay. And we're going to be basically throwing everything inside of this. Okay, but before we go ahead and do that, let me go ahead and bring back my joints. And you can see that our sign node is still in the scene here. So I'm going to go ahead and select that sign node. I'm going to hit Control G to group it. And then just shift select the mid joint on the body. I'll go ahead and, before I do that, actually rename this to the auto swim node. And I probably should go ahead and actually put GRP in here just so that we know exactly what this is. And let's take a look in our channel box here, as I want to go ahead and actually add another attribute here. So we'll just come up here to modify, add attribute. We'll make this an enumerated attribute. Okay, we'll call this the clownfish auto swim node viz. Pretty long name. Or we can just simply delete the node and the underscore, and we'll just call it the auto swim viz. We'll call this green the hidden one, this blue one the show. Go ahead and hit add, just making sure that we have that selected. Yep. And we'll actually have to redo that again. So we'll call this the clownfish auto swim underscore viz. Call this hidden shown. We'll go ahead and add that. So you can see there that it gets added in our channel box. And what we're going to go ahead and do is we're going to jump into the connection editor here. Window, General Editors, Connection Editor. We're going to select the master controller, reload that in the left. We're going to select the auto swim group node, reload that in the right. We're going to take the viz and connect this to the visibility. Go ahead and shut this. So now you can see where it gets shut off and it's hidden, which is indicated here by the templated name. Okay, and we'll shift select, or we'll select that group, shift select any one of the joints. Preferably you want it in between the body joints, so I'm just selecting the mid joint here just to be on the safe side. And so whenever we move the rig, that auto swim node is actually going to move with the joint system, so we'll just parent that by hitting P. Okay, we'll come in here and turn our manual controls back on, and let me go ahead and just move my outliner real quick so you guys can see what I'm doing here. Okay, so we only want these fins to rotate. We don't want them to translate, and translating them doesn't really do anything. So we're going to go ahead and select all of those. We're going to select the left side, the left bottom, shift select the right bottom, the right side. We're also going to select the tail one, and if I can grab it, the tail 2 here. We're going to go ahead and select the translates and then control drag to select all the scales. We're going to go ahead and just simply lock them. If you want to, you can always, lock and hide selected, so there you only have the rotate controls. We're also going to go in here and grab the manual body controls. So let me just make sure that I select all of these. And we don't want these rotating or scaling, so we'll go ahead and select the rotate and scale. We'll go ahead and lock and hide the selected on those as well. We don't want the head rotate here to be translated, so we're going to go ahead and or scaled, so we're going to go ahead and lock and hide the selected on those. Okay, and we're also going to add another attribute here on this master controller, which is going to be for our face, so it'll make it easier for ourselves to go ahead and build the character UI. Okay, so let's go ahead and select this. We'll go ahead and turn off our manual body controls. We'll select this and make sure that we go ahead here and modify add attribute, and we're going to call this our clownfish face control underscore viz. The green here is going to be our hidden one. The blue is going to be our shown. So we'll go ahead and add that, and you can see that it gets added here in the bottom. Okay, go ahead and close that attribute window. Go ahead and pull this back here, and I'm just simply going to select all 3 of these, which is the clownfish geo module, the clownfish main master, the face machine, and I'm going to middle drag and put this in the clownfish module don't touch. Okay, and we're going to come back up here, jump into our window, general editors, our connection editor. We're going to select our master controller, reload that in the left, and we're going to select our face machine, making sure that we break the connection here on the visibility. Okay, we're going to reload that in the right, take our face control viz and attach that to our visibility. So now you can see where that gets shut off. And if I go ahead and reselect this and put the shown back on, you can see where these come back into the scene here. Okay, and one last thing we need to go ahead and do before we start building our module system and our UI for our character is I actually want to add a smooth node. So at render time we can simply set this up so we can just go ahead and render it on a smooth level to make it very easy on ourselves to go ahead and do that. So let's come in here and just unreference our layer. We'll select all of our geometry, hit 3 on our keyboard, so there we get that smooth preview. We're going to come up here to modify, convert smooth mesh preview to polygons. Now I tend to like to use that method rather than, if I hit F3 on my keyboard, the smooth iteration under the mesh, simply because the smooth iteration under the mesh sometimes has a lot of some problems to it. So I just find it better to come in here to use the modify, convert smooth mesh to preview polygons, and there you can see our mesh gets subdivided. So let me go ahead and just turn my facial system off here. Okay. And we just simply need to attach these poly smooth face information to a attribute here, which is going to be on our master controller here. Let's come in here and modify add attribute. We're going to make this an enumerated value again, and we're just going to call this clownfish smooth, and I don't want a capital M there. Okay, we're going to rename the green here to we'll say this animation. This will be the animation level. The blue here is going to be the rendering level, and we'll add a third. You can name it basically whatever you want. I'm just going to call insane. Maybe not. That probably is a bad word. Let's go with close up will probably work as well. I tend to just like to use a lot of comedy whenever I'm doing character rigs. Okay, so you can see where that's been added here as well. Let's come in here to our connection editor, window general editor's connection editor. We're going to reload this master controller here on the left. And what we're going to do to add in the right here is we need to come up here into our select by name. We're going to call this the Poly Smooth Face Star. This way it selects everything that's a poly smooth face. And we're going to reload that in the right here. Scroll down on our left and we're going to take the smooth levels and connect it to each divisions here. So this would be, I'm guessing, the body, our left eye, and our right eye. Okay, so there you can see where our mesh has been ported back to the low-res geometry. Let's go ahead and select this just to make sure that this is going to work. So we'll take a look at our rendering and our close-up. So there, everything is working properly in the way that it should. Just throw this back to animation. Okay, turn back on our reference mesh. Just make sure that we re-add these eyes to that reference mesh. Let's take a look here at our outliner. So everything here is fairly clean, and I'm not adding this face machine controls. This would be the box controls that are going to be in the face machine GUI window. Our module information here is all what it should be. So in the next lesson we'll go ahead and come back and we will build our character UI for our fish, and then we'll go ahead and build our module setup for our rig. So come on back and we'll continue to get this done.